Grace didn't invite him into her office. She spoke to him right there, in the presence of the life he left behind. He fumbled with his words. "Grace, please. I messed up. I see it now. Everything you were to me. I've lost so much and—" "You didn't lose me, Andrew," she said, voice calm and measured. "You gave me away, for a temporary thrill. And now, what you threw away is thriving." He looked around. The elegant clients, the gleaming salon, the team wearing matching aprons embroidered with Grace Hair Studio. A far cry from the broken woman he once left behind. "I just want another chance. We had something special," he pleaded. Grace stepped closer, her heels soft against the tile. "Do you know what the hardest part was?" she asked, her voice low. "It wasn't the debt, or the silence, or even Michelle. It was realizing I let someone walk all over me, believing that love meant sacrifice without return." Andrew's voice cracked. "Michelle kicked me out. She said I wasn't ambitious enough, that I didn't have vision." Grace's brows lifted slightly. "Oh, the same Michelle you replaced me with after using everything I had to build you up?" He looked down. She took a breath. "I don't hate you, Andrew. I thank you. You unlocked something in me. But no, I don't want you back. I don't pity you. I've just outgrown you." Then she leaned in with a soft, final smile. "If only you had waited. If only you'd seen the Grace inside me, not as a tool but as the treasure. This empire could have been yours too." Just then, Frederick walked in, tall, composed, dressed in tailored navy blue, a bouquet of flowers in one hand, keys to a luxury car in the other. "Hey, babe," he said, kissing Grace's cheek. "Just wanted to walk you to the car." Andrew's jaw clenched. "So this is it?" "This," Grace said, wrapping her arm around Frederick's. "He asked me to dream with him." Frederick gave Andrew a respectful nod. "Tough world, man. But when you lose someone like her, that's on you." Andrew stood frozen as they walked away hand in hand, down the steps of her salon. Outside, Grace paused. She turned one last time and said gently, "You left me for glitter. Turns out I was the gold." And she walked on. The following day, just as the morning sun stretched over the avenues, casting a golden hue on the polished pavement outside Grace Hair Studio, the receptionist approached to unlock the door, only to freeze. There, lying curled up on the salon's front veranda, was Andrew. He had nowhere to go now. After going bankrupt, his once booming electronics business had closed down completely. Michelle had thrown him out, and with no income, no support, and no plan, he drifted from street corners to public benches, anywhere he could rest his body for the night. Most evenings he numbed his pain with cheap spirits and vodka, trying to forget the man he used to be, trying to silence the regret that haunted him. His clothes were stained and crumpled, his face unshaven and gaunt. The stench of alcohol clung to him like a second skin. An empty bottle lay beside him, rolling gently with the breeze. He was curled near the flower pots Grace had once planted with her own hands, bright marigolds and lavender that still bloomed. The receptionist gasped, a hand flying to her chest, and immediately called the security guard. They approached slowly, trying to shake him gently, calling his name. "Andrew! Andrew, wake up!" He groaned, barely stirring, worried it would cause a scene, especially with the salon opening soon and high-profile clients due to arrive. The receptionist called Grace. She arrived within 30 minutes, calm, composed, dressed in her usual understated elegance, high-waisted trousers, a crisp white blouse, soft curls tucked behind one ear. Her heels clicked with quiet authority as she walked up to the entrance. She stood still for a long moment, looking down at the man who once walked into her life full of dreams and charm, now reduced to a shadow of that memory. Then, she knelt beside him. "Andrew," she said softly, her voice steady. "This isn't you. Wake up." His eyes fluttered open, bloodshot, cloudy, confused. He blinked up at her, maybe hoping she was a dream. But her face was real. Calm, unshaken, unreachable. She stood and turned to the guards. "Please, help him off the premises gently." The men nodded, lifting Andrew carefully. He didn't fight. He didn't speak. He simply looked back once, eyes full of something he couldn't put into words. Grace watched quietly, not with anger, not with bitterness, but with the kind of still sadness that comes when the storm is long over and you're standing in the sunlight, grateful you survived. She was now a woman transformed. By Grace, her haircare brand, was stocked in every major supermarket in Zimbabwe. Her line of organic shampoos, conditioners and hair fertilizer was gaining attention across southern Africa. She now employed over 50 people between her 3 salons and the new production factory in Granite-side. Despite her scars, Grace had never stopped being Grace. Later that night, she sat alone in her garden, thinking about everything. About how much Andrew had once broken her. About how, strangely, he was part of the reason she rose. Maybe blessings come through heartbreak. She whispered to herself. She thought long and hard, and then made a decision. A week later, she called Andrew. He answered with a tired voice, cautious. "Hello?" "Andrew," she said, her tone clear. "I want to offer you a job. At the By Grace factory. Delivery driver? It's not much, but it's something. I'm not doing it because I owe you anything. I'm doing it because I've healed." He couldn't speak for a moment. "I don't deserve it," he finally said. "I know," she replied softly, "but I'm giving it to you anyway." 3 weeks passed. Andrew started showing up to the factory every morning, trying his best to look presentable. He didn't talk much, just drove the van, signed the delivery logs, kept his head down. The staff didn't know who he was, just another quiet driver. But then one evening, Grace called from her home office. "Andrew, I need you to bring a box of sample packs to my home in Borrowdale. The team from South Africa will be visiting tomorrow." He agreed quickly and followed the GPS instructions. But as he pulled into the driveway, his hands froze on the steering wheel. The mansion before him was majestic. Cream stone walls, large pillars, fountain in the center, a manicured garden out front. Palm trees swayed gently beside a wide veranda. He stepped out of the van, box in hand, and slowly walked to the door, his knees weak. Grace opened it herself. She was glowing, confident, kind, at peace. "This is your house?" he asked, stunned. "Yes," she said calmly. "One of many." She paused, then added with quiet strength, "Everything I once poured into you, I now pour into myself." The silence was louder than ever. He looked down at his shoes, then at the house again, then at her. "This place, it's beautiful," he said quietly. "It's not just a house," Grace said. "It's a reminder that even after loss, women rise. That pain doesn't define us, but what we do with it does." She took the samples, gave him a nod, and closed the door. Behind the door, she smiled. Not with vengeance, but with peace. Because this quiet victory, was the sweetest of all. 3 months later, the evening sky over Harare shimmered with stars. Inside the Rainbow Towers Conference Center, lights glittered against the golden drapes of the stage. Zimbabwe's most prestigious entrepreneurship and innovation awards were underway, and the room was filled with powerful business people, media figures, and influencers. The host took the stage and adjusted the mic with a grin. "And now for our final award of the evening, Female Entrepreneur of the Year. This award goes to a woman whose brand started with 2 salon chairs, a second-hand hairdryer, and a broken heart, but now ships products across southern Africa." The audience turned toward the screen as Grace's journey played, from humble braiding sessions in Warren Park D to her By Grace manufacturing line. Clips of her training young stylists, packaging boxes, and cutting ribbons at new salons played in slow motion. The crowd erupted in applause. Ladies and gentlemen, the 2025 Female Entrepreneur of the Year, Grace Moyo, founder of By Grace Hair Care and Grace Hair Studios. Grace walked up to the stage in a white tailored jumpsuit, head held high, locks wrapped into a regal bun, gold earrings shining under the lights. Her stride was calm, certain, unapologetically powerful. She took the mic, looked out over the crowd, and smiled. Spotlights warmed her face, cameras flashed, but she wasn't thinking about fame. She was thinking about every woman who had ever broken quietly in silence, behind a closed salon door or a one-room flat. She took a breath, steadied her voice, and then she spoke. I used to think heartbreak was the end of a story. But I was wrong. It was the beginning. By Grace wasn't just built with strategy or branding, it was built with the pieces of a woman who had to rebuild herself. Cameras flashed. Grace continued, voice clear. To every woman who gave too much, who stayed too long, who sacrificed and was left behind, this is for you. We are not weak because we loved. We are powerful because we survived and thrived. I wasn't supposed to be here, not according to the world, not according to the man who left me when I had nothing left to give. But here I am. There was a time I gave everything I had, my time, my money, my dreams, to someone who promised me forever. I believed love would be enough. I believed loyalty would be returned. I believed in us, and then he left. No explanation, no apology, just silence. I sat on the floor of my one-room flat and wondered if I was the fool. I wasn't. To every woman who gave her all and was left to rebuild from scratch, you are not foolish. You are not weak. You are not disposable. You are fire. You are grace. You are the blueprint. They don't tell you this part, that the same pain that breaks you can also build you. That sometimes your heartbreak is the exact ingredient your purpose needed to rise. I built By Grace with swollen hands, tired eyes, and a heart still learning how to beat again. I didn't do it to prove a point. I did it to survive, and somehow, I thrived. This award is not just mine, it's for the girl who braided hair by candlelight, for the woman who gave love and was left with debt, for the mother who held her family together with prayers and second-hand shoes, for every woman who's ever been told she's not enough, but chose to rise anyway. Let them doubt you, let them leave you, let them forget you. But when you rise, rise so loud the silence they left you in becomes your victory song. This isn't the end of my story. It's just the beginning. And I pray, may every broken woman walk into a room one day and not need to say a single word, because her presence will speak for itself. Thank you. The room stood to its feet. Meanwhile, in a dimly lit bottle store near Mbar, Andrew sat slouched in a plastic chair. A small TV in the corner of the shop played the award show. He looked up just as Grace held her trophy to the crowd. The announcer's voice echoed through the room. Grace Moyo, visionary, survivor, game changer. Andrew stared at the screen, empty bottle in hand. Jacket worn thin. The same man who once told her she wasn't enough, now watching her become everything. The shop owner chuckled and nudged him. Isn't that the woman who used to braid hair in Warren Park? Look at her now. She's killing it. Andrew didn't reply. He just stared. Because now he knew. He didn't just lose a woman. He lost a destiny. Thank you for watching Grace's journey. If you've made it to the end, I hope this story touched something in you. Grace's path wasn't just fiction. It was a mirror to the heartbreak, strength, and quiet power so many women carry every day. To every woman who ever gave her all and was left behind, this story was for you. To every person rebuilding themselves piece by piece after being broken, This was your reminder. You can rise. Grace didn't get her happy ending by luck. She built it. With tired hands, tear-stained pillows, silent prayers, and unshakable faith in herself. And so can you. Thank you for sharing this moment, for feeling it, for remembering what heartbreak can become when you refuse to stay broken. Never forget, what breaks you can also build you, and when you rise so bright they can't look away. If Grace's story moved you, share it with someone who needs hope. Because every time we tell stories like this, we remind the world what real strength looks like. Until next time, stay strong, stay soft, and always rise by grace.